Hello and welcome to Reese. Today I'll be discussing the current educational system in the United Kingdom. I currently am not in high school, but I'll be talking about high school. So when I was in high school, I experienced a lot of indoctrination, a lot of politics being put onto us, especially in our PSHE lessons, which are supposed to be about society. We get taught things like to do with rape, to do with drugs, to do with drinking, friendship, society, all that type of thing. But what they were trying to teach us was politics. They were shoehorning politics in, but not in like a sense that it would benefit us. They were putting their own views. We had a teacher who would talk about rather left-wing values and why we should support that, and if you even questioned it, you'd get a look. And there'd be a teacher which would speak about right-wing things, and if you questioned it, you'd get a look. If you said like, oh, I don't mind an influx of foreign people into the country, they'd give you a look. On the opposite hand, if you said you had a problem, they'd basically make out to the class that you were some sort of racist, and then objectively what they'd try and do is get class support to bolster their own argument by they'd water down your point. So you'd make a good point about immigration, say, to do with taxes and to do with the money being spent and welfare and all that and the economy. Say you had a proper discussion, they'll water it down to like, oh, you don't like foreigners, proper simplify it, and then they'd spit it out back at you, show the rest of the class, try and make an example of you, uproar, everyone's taking the piss out of you. That is what PSHE was like in high school, which leads me to think most of it was left-wing values. Now, I class myself as a libertarian on the grand scheme of things. You wouldn't really hear an English person describing themselves as that, as you would expect it more from someone from the US. But I still class myself as that. I did float around being a centrist for a while, until some of the right-wing values started bothering me, especially around the world, because I look at the world politics, not just England, but of course where I live, unfortunately, is this shithole. So that's what I'm going to be talking about on this channel. That is the first topic, which I just mentioned, which will be the education system of the United Kingdom, and especially to do with indoctrination and politics and saying, right, so you grow up, what do you want? You have freedom in your life, you have the freedom of choice. The freedom of choice. Alright, grow up, have a wife, have a kid, get married, have a house, have a car, have a dog. That's the dream. But when there's no jobs, and it's not paying that great, how's that the dream for anyone who starts and grows up on a council estate? When you've got no money, how are you expected to make money? Especially when you're drunk and high on about 500 different type of drugs, because they stick you in those sorts of areas when you're on welfare. It just really bothers me, the fact the education system indoctrinates us to want a certain life, then tries to shove political views into us when they're not legally supposed to do that. You are a teacher, not a preacher, and then expects us to thank them at the end of it. So that'll be my first topic, a summary. Then I will also be doing the politics of the US and North Korea. I will also be doing to do with mental health politics, to do with economical politics, to do with societal psychology and sociology of people. I would like to do a few scientific videos, a few ones to do with religion as well, because it really bugs me. Things like religion and the way they say, oh, we're allowed to force our views onto you, but once you say, oh, well, I don't agree with your views, you're the bigot. And you have to prove yourself to them, because you're the one who's wrong, you're the nasty person, of course. So those will be the sorts of topics I'm covering. Of course, the first topic, as I've mentioned it the most in this video, will be the educational system, which I'll be mainly doing to do with indoctrination and the politics of education, but I will also be doing about how a lot of the subjects are pointless, and the whole society of school, the whole feeling, the aura of it, it's wrong. It's not a safe environment or a happy environment, especially for teenagers. With suicide rates going up every year, you wonder why in a society you've created where everyone thinks they're going to end up poor, they're told that they're probably going to end up poor, but then they're shoved with this dream constantly on TV and in their face and in your indoctrination lessons about, oh, you want all this, this and that. Well, I'm sorry that I'm not a straight, perfectly fit white male who goes down, oh honey, look at me, I'm going to marry my wife and I'm going to have a kid and a dog and it's all going to be pretty much spiffing. We're going to go down to the lake and go play some golf in our afternoon because we're sitting there at middle age wondering where the fuck we are. It doesn't happen, because it's such a system now, unless you're born into money, it's very hard to get out. I think I can. I can't say that for most of the country. I hope most of the country can get out and make something of themselves, but I don't know. which is why I wish people the best. But welcome to the Reese Stevensy channel, which is what I'll be calling it. I will be adding a Y at the end. I'm speaking rather fast because I am nervous. This video doesn't really have a lot of sort of substance to it because it's not research. This is just a trailer. But yeah. So, well, welcome to the channel. First series of videos will be to do with indoctrination. Then I believe I want to talk about the law, because there are a lot of laws I don't agree with in this country. Not stupid ones. I don't think you should steal and stuff, obviously, but certain things bug me, and that's what I'll be talking about. Certain things such as freedom of speech. If I say the M word in public, I can be arrested. It's not right to say that word, certainly, but where's your freedom of speech when you have thought police and word police? Where's your freedom of speech when you're moving towards a 1984 nation where I can get arrested for having thoughts? If I go on the internet and I call someone a twat and say that I want to kill them, right? But I don't threaten it, I just say, oh, twat, I hope you die or something, I can get arrested. I haven't actively threatened them, I don't know where they live, but I can be arrested for that. I should not. Where is your freedom of speech in a country which doesn't allow freedom of speech and yet presents itself to the world as this perfect little happy haven, and it's not? Okay? Welcome to the great nation. God save our gracious Queen. May she live forever as she steals the tax dollars and all the money and lets people live in poverty on their council estates. Welcome to the channel.